Hello, Kizomba enthusiasts, and welcome back to another episode of Kizomba Conversations. As always, I'm your host, Victor, and we're joined today by another amazing guest from the Kizomba dance scene. Now, this person, my friend, is an amazing dancer. I've had the pleasure of being on one of his workshops, and he definitely brings the fun and the energy into his Kizomba. So let's welcome Mr. Emmanuel MeuSemba. Emmanuel, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me. Yeah, first time.
Thank you for being here. How are we doing? How you feeling? How was the journey here?
Might as well put it out there. I live in London. I live in Bristol, and obviously we've come to London. It takes about 3 hours to get here on a not so great day. But apart from that, I'm feeling good.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you here, and we're looking forward to a very good conversation about all things Kizomba.
Looking forward to it too, man.
As always, there's so much to talk about. Okay. Now, we're going to get into your journey, why you love Kizomba so much, and what keeps you doing it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, looking forward to it. There's a lot to talk about that's evolved over time as well. We all come in to starting for different reasons, and then your reason for staying evolves as you interact with the scene.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack.
Cool. Well, let's start at the beginning then, all right? So let's always start at the beginning and talk to us a bit. Well, we always want to try to find out about our guests, and we always want to find out a bit about you. So not so much in Kizomba, but just who is Emmanuel? Yeah. So obviously you teach, people see you, but they don't necessarily know things about you. Yeah. So what would you like to share with us?
Good question. Yeah, it's a good one as well, because I think stepping into the teaching world, there's a point that you get to where you kind of have to hold back enough of yourself so you maintain yourself, because when you're teaching and in the community, you're given. So there's that element of recharging. So, and I'm saying that because I know it's possible to come across as, oh, you standoffish.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just to give to everyone consistently. It drains you. Yeah. So you have to have that balance. And I think that's a good place to start. What keeps me balanced is who I was before dance. And for me, that's the accumulation of everything. So I'm a son, I have parents.
Yeah.
Have a good relationship with my family, work. I'm an analyst. So I've been in the financial industry for about a decade now. And that's even, a bit of that is including dance. I love music, and that's been there even before Kizomba. So I've learned about 5 instruments up until my mid-20s. So drums, full drum kit, could play that. The rest, not so much, but drums was really my passion. Drums and then bass guitar. Learned the acoustic guitar as well, piano. And there was a point I was learning the sax. Wasn't very good at that. I didn't invest enough. I wish I did. Like when you're older now, you realize the power of the sax.
It's an amazing instrument.
Yeah, for other reasons as well. Yeah. So music's always been a big chunk of my life. Dad was a DJ growing up as well. I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. 2 of my brothers are full-on musicians, producers, artists as well. So music's like in the family. So when I met Kizomba, that's the first thing I heard is the music. I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a familiarity here. Add that to the fact that when you come from Africa to Europe, the music you're exposed to changes. Yeah. Fundamentally, you go from polyrhythmic to this 4x4 music. Yeah. So coming into England, I didn't hear as much of African Nigerian music like in everyday life. When you now come to Kizomba, that's the first thing I hear, like live instruments in the song, not electronic.
Yeah.
Yo, take me back.
Yes.
So yeah, that's been the transition. It's music first, and still till now it's music. So yeah, I think apart from that, there's a transition period in terms of location as well. There's a geographical story to be told, even from Nigeria. Well, being born in England, going back to Nigeria, coming back to England, and even in England, living in South London, then going to live in Halifax, West Yorkshire for work.
Wow.
Which is completely different. You go from London, where there's people that look like you, to somewhere where being there, that was the first year they built a cinema in that little town. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Different.
yeah. So there's a geographical story to be told there as well before we even get to Kizomba, because it's that story that leads me to Kizomba. So I came to Bristol for work, and then trying to get to know people in a new city. You start trying to dance, amongst other things. Just okay, let's learn a bit of salsa, bachata, and then this thing called Kizomba, and that's how. Yeah,
This thing called Kizomba.
This thing called Kizomba.
Okay.
Which no one prepares you.
Yeah, tell me about it, right? So just before that then, so you mentioned those instruments. Which one's your favorite? Did you say which one your favorite is?
Now you're asking me. At the time, the drums was my favorite.
Yeah.
I think when you're young and you want to just express yourself, some people choose a combat sport, some people is football. Mine, the drums is the most active of all the instruments, like physically at that time. So I think that's what drew me to it. But as I've grown older, and then yeah, I can't say it's just the drums anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't force you to pick one that you like best.
It's hard. Yeah.
No worries. But you know, the thing is then, obviously, because with Kizomba, we have to talk about musicality, right? So because you're so in tune with music and instruments, would you say your musicality is a pretty high level when it comes to Kizomba?
I think I hear more than most people.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I hear more than most people. My ears are definitely better trained to hear the layers of music than, because when you've had to play it,
yes,
and play in a band, which means respecting all the other musicians, you get to listen to them. So that stays with you. I can always hear all the layers of. It's rich when you listen to it, and that's the type of music that I draw to the most.
Yeah,
music with a lot of soul, I guess.
It's really amazing. That's really good.
It influences my taste.
Yeah, you know. So it must be amazing for you when you're on the dance floor there and you get all these sounds and your body starts moving.
It's a musical bonanza.
Okay, we're gonna get into that a bit later on as well. So, talk to us then about your specific journey into the world of this just amazing dance. How did you get involved in Kizomba? How did you discover it?
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, okay, so I've just moved to Bristol, myself and my brother, and it's a new city. At that time, actually, I had a list of like 100 things to try that I wrote down. So stuff like skydiving, skiing. You still haven't done that. You know, and dancing, salsa, tango, whatever was on the list. So I was just going through my list. Okay, let me try out salsa and all these partner dances. And then I've been doing this for like maybe 2 months. Salsa, that is. They had a party, which I thought was like one of the weekly parties. And I was going to that, which ended up being a festival, which I didn't know. Okay. And somehow I got in. I just walked in, they let me in.
Wow.
And it was a Kizomba festival, not a salsa festival.
So was that the first time you saw Kizomba?
First time I saw Kizomba. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was an accident totally. I thought I was going to salsa class.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this doesn't look like, you know, what we've been learning. Yeah. But it looks fun. Music sounds amazing. Yeah. And that's how I started really. That's like the first ever introduction. Totally clueless. Still didn't understand what I was looking at. But it's, there was enough interest enough to make me think, okay, I want to find out a bit more. And yeah, the people around, come on Wednesday, come on Tuesday. And since then, you start going to classes. I think probably worth mentioning is that beginner period only lasted 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, let's say I started Kizomba today, 9 months later, I was asked to teach.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I wasn't even thinking about anything beyond basics at that stage, because it's a new dance, new city, new people. I got to travel as well as part of learning, because everyone goes to festivals internationally. So I was just having a great time, you know. So it's like I got into it, and very quickly I had to rapidly evolve.
So with that, because that's quite a short period of time, so did that mean that you picked up the moves or the concept quite quickly for you then to be able to become a teacher?
No. Oh, no chance. I remember, okay, so I've been learning for 9 months.
Yeah.
Part of that process is speaking to David Floor, who was the teacher at the time. I'm like, okay, there's music that I don't have. Yeah. And he's a DJ. So he just literally put hard drive, all his music in there, gave it to me, got to listen to them.
Okay.
So, and I think potentially from his side to see someone that's that interested is maybe the reason why But in terms of skill level, that's not the reason why.
I see.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I remember the first person I called at that time was Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie Vance. As soon as David said, I'm leaving the country, I've got a new job opportunity, I want to go, I'd like you to take over the school. I called Eddie, I was like, yeah. And the first thing he said is, you're not ready.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I was like, I know, that's why I'm calling
you. Yeah.
But once David leaves, there'll be no one else.
Right.
So, and he's like, oh, damn it. We have work to do.
Yeah.
And I flew over to the States for like 2 weeks, just straight training, just to get me started. And that just triggered a whole learning process, you know, going from learning in the States, going to Angola, going to Portugal, Belgium, Porto, anywhere I could find a teacher that was relevant enough or had enough skill that I know I went to learn. Yeah. So it kind of halted my enjoyment of the dance.
Yeah.
Because you go from 9 months of freedom to I'm not Angolan, very high up, don't speak Portuguese. I barely like the language. There's a whole culture attached to the dance that I have no clue about. Not to mention the technicality of the dance. And then you add to that the time that we're talking about. At that time, the methodology of Kizomba is still evolving. So it's not like there's a concentrated place where you could get all the information and everyone agreed on all the information. You know, so it's like I'm learning from different teachers and all the basics are different.
Yeah. So how did you did you make it your own, or how did you understand all that if you learned it from different teachers?
I feel sorry for my students, man.
Okay.
The students that stayed with me the longest are my best friends. I love them the most because they've been the most tolerant. I've evolved as a teacher.
Okay.
You know, when I'm learning from this teacher, it influences, you know, my current teaching style or methodology. When I move to the next one, it will evolve again. So I'm constantly adding, removing. I think it's only in the last maybe 3 years that I've finally settled on like, okay, I appreciate what's valuable about all the methodologies I've learned. And I can fuse it into something that I think works.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where I'm more confident now than I was back then. Because again, so many conflicting information sometimes, you know, so it takes a while for it to really settle. And okay, this works.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So your first teacher, his name?
First teacher was David Floor.
David Floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
and
who was at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. He used to teach him, well, he taught everywhere. Bristol, Birmingham, Cardiff, Bath, I think. Yeah. So he was quite doing the UK circuit quite well. He's a DJ teacher. So then he moved for work. He's in Bratislava at the moment, still teaching and running his own school there. But yeah, Bristol has been, my home since then. Yeah.
And then after that, you say, was it Eddie after that?
Yeah, Eddie after that. Then Afro-Latin Connection in Porto. I did pretty much their whole syllabus from beginning to the end because I thought they had the structure I needed. Pechu and Vanessa, I don't know if you remember Pechu, Vanessa, I've done all of their courses as well. In Belgium, there's Jose Ndongala, who teaches Kizomba Love, which is France and Sarah, who's on there as well at the time. I think Rabil, Stephanie, there was quite a few people under that camp that I learned from as well. Then obviously Angola, learned with as many of the Semba champions as possible because it give you that flair.
I just want to know, what is it like learning in Angola? This is dancers from Angola, so what is it like?
The trip to Angola was interesting. We should talk about that. But in terms of learning, the first year I went there, I realized how unprepared I was. It humbles you.
Yes.
It really humbles you. Yeah. No matter how much they pump your ego up in the Europe, when you get to Angola, it calms. Yeah. You find out where you are.
Yeah.
Without anyone having to tell you. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're very humble when you come back. If you have an ego, if you want to calm down, go to Angola, come back. You're calm.
Did you find you were a better dancer after Angola?
I was more motivated. Yeah, and I had a direction as well, a sense of direction of, okay, so this is what's missing in my dance.
Okay.
You know, I think that was the most useful. Like, okay, as a dancer, this is what I'm missing the most. And I could really try and plug that gap.
Yeah.
So I was more prepared the second time I went.
Okay.
I knew the teachers I wanted to learn from. I'd already spoken to them. I'm like, okay, cool. You're going to give me what I need to evolve as a dancer. and in some ways as a teacher as well. Yeah, it's also a very different way of learning as well, which is probably one of the things that made it intimidating. Is you get there and the level of breakdown that we have in Europe. Nice, watch and do. Watch and do.
Okay,
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
Quick.
Yeah, your body has to be primed for it as well. Because sometimes even while they're teaching, they're creative.
Amazing.
Yeah, so something might change on the fly. I'll keep up.
I really want to get over there. I mean, how many times have you been there, Tango?
I think about 3 times now.
3 times.
Yeah. Be prepared. It's the most expensive city in the world. Oh, fact.
Yeah?
Really. Like, okay. Yeah, be ready. Be ready.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. So I mean, look. So you're Nigerian.
Yes.
I'm next door. So I'm Ghanaian.
Nice.
Yeah. So we are next door
Truth.
brothers.
For this podcast.
Yes, indeed. But what I'm saying is, we have, Africa. So we've got high life. We've got Afro beats, and we all love all those, types of music, and it's part of our culture as well. We love that. But Angola have Kizomba, and you kind of think, this dance is just amazing, and you're like, wow, you kind of wish that you you grew up on that as well. So that's why I'm just so fascinated by what it's like in Angola, especially with Semba as well. How they dance it over there. It's it just looks amazing to me.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's lost on us as well, is that the breadth or the range of Semba is. It's beyond just the show or the fast side of it. So when you go there, you get that sense. So, for example, it would be natural for there to be a song playing and the ladies are gathered around it. They're just having fun. They don't be partner dancing at that point. Get out of the way. Don't go and interrupt. Let them have their fun, and then other times they do want to dance. So whereas for us here in Europe is always the same. We just want to marathon dance all the time. And I think we're also evolving as a community as well. In Europe, we're learning to take it easy a bit more. And I think from what I've seen, the pandemic's gone a long way to help us appreciate the connection side of the dance. Because I think at least this is what I observe, people missed each other. So when
some people maybe. But
yeah. Well, when I say each other, I mean human connection.
Yes.
Yeah, so when the pandemic first came, I saw a lot of, there's a party set up, people have come, but for a while, they're not going straight to dance, they're just talking. How have you been? What's been going on? Just catching up first before you went to the dancing. It's been a couple of years now. I don't know, maybe we'll go back to the way we were before, but I definitely saw that for a while. We remembered that we need to speak to each other.
Get connected. Interesting. Yeah, no. Cool. Excellent. Thank you so much. Good insight. So let's talk about, what I want to find out from you is, you've been teaching long time. How many years now, would you say?
Coming up to a decade.
Yeah. Okay. So with the teaching, with your musicality background, you're well grounded in this dance. So if we are talking to people who are kind of new to Kizomba, and they've looked at it maybe and they think, I don't know. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Oh, I'm interested. What would you say to them? How would you describe Kizomba to somebody that's on the fence or just looking at the moment?
That's a great question. Yeah, for all the different spectrums of people that come. I think one thing that I'd say is universal for everyone is being present. I think there's a beauty in the way Kizomba keeps you present in the moment. I'm not saying other dances and other art forms don't do that, because you could look at a piece of art and it transports you somewhere else or brings you here. But I think Kizomba is very special in the way it brings you into the moment. And both for the leader and the follower, it does different things for them. Not just being in the moment with someone. It's a beautiful thing. And unless you already have that in your personal life already, I think when you finally have that dance in Kizomba, it's going to transform you.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's very easy for us, and everyone resonates with this, to be busy at life. I explain it as the different hats that we wear: father, son, husband, boyfriend, employee, employer. Whatever hats you wear, when you come to dance, you take them off slowly. Yeah. And maybe you'll be left with one, which is dancer. Yeah. And that's the only hat that you're wearing at that moment. Yeah. So I think if you're craving that human connection in a way that's different, I think this is the dance for you.
Okay. All right. So you're basically about connection, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Cool. Now, are you able just to explain, just very, very briefly, difference between Kizomba, Semba, Tereshina? This is mainly for people who are, new to the dance. Just want to make sure they understand the kind of difference between those three.
Yeah, Kizomba, Semba, Tarashinya. When we say Tarashinya, put Tarashinya, get to Zouk together.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you have Kizomba in the middle,
Yeah.
and then you put Semba at the end. Yeah. I think one way I explain it is to do with energy. So if you had Tarashinya, get to Zouk on this end, you have the lower energy. And low doesn't necessarily mean not intense. It could be low energy, but intense, So you have the lower energy there. And in terms of movement, we're on the spot mostly. Don't move around too much. Kizomba's has a bit of that low energy, but then it spikes every now and again. You walk, you calm down, you walk, you calm down. And Semba is just on the go all the time. So that's the spectrum of energy, I'd say, because I think that gives an idea of it. Musically, they're trends. So like we say, Tarashin is usually slower music in terms of speed. Kizomba again in the middle, spiking up and down in terms of speed and energy. And then Semba, gotta be careful. There are slow Semba songs, there are mid-tempo Semba songs, and there are high-tempo Semba songs, but the energy is generally continuous. It doesn't stop. Once the Semba song starts, you're gonna keep going, keep going. Yeah. I think that'll be where I'd one or two ways to describe the difference. What else should I say? Musically, you have the electronic side of Ghetto Zouk and Tarashinya, so it's usually more synthesized music. Kizomba, Semba, more live music, although Kizomba now, obviously, technology has improved, times have changed. It's becoming more of a mesh. Like, it's harder and harder to tell what genres a song is in, because the musicians are blending everything together. Which is what art is. Yeah. Just putting it all together, really. Yeah. It keeps evolving. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I'd say.
No, but I like the answer. So, you explained it really well. So it's about energy, right?
Yeah.
In terms of how they're split out. So that's great. Okay. Let's move on.
The record. I like all of them.
You like all of them, yeah? Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you this later. Now you said that.
Ask later.
I hope I don't forget. All right, this is a random question then. Okay. What brings you most joy about teaching Kizomba to students?
What brings me most joy?
Or does it bring you joy?
Yeah, it does. There's a number of things, to be honest. There's a number of things. There's a joy in watching people grow. In general, I like that, because I think that's more of my nature. I like watching people grow, evolve, learn new things, get things. And that's before we get to Kizomba. Just in general, I like that. Helping people grow, watching them grow, just being part of people's journey, right? I think it's a precious part of who I am. And so in Kizomba is the same thing, being part of someone's growth. As someone who's already walked through that path, I think I'm especially precious about it, because I know what it's like to not know anything in this dance. I really know. I mean, I've had texts from teachers that will see me dancing and they'll text me or call me. I'm like, bro, you're dancing off beat.
Yeah, but we need to know this.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It stings a little bit, but
I'm a little bit surprised though, because you're the musicality king. But it's all good.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. This is real, and that's what I mean. Yeah. So I could have a student who I'm like, your music's good, but when you start dancing, you just go off beat. I know what that feels like, and I know why you're doing it. It's not because you're not hearing it; it's the nerves.
Yeah.
Especially as a leader. Yeah. When you're learning and you're trying to remember all the steps, and you think you're a boring dancer, and she's bored of my steps. I do the same steps all the time, the same thoughts.
Oh my God, man. You're speaking my mind.
Yeah. I'm a lead. I've been through it. I know what it feels like. That
puts you off beat.
Yeah. You're worried. You're thinking about too many things at the same time. Exactly. I can hear the music. I'm like, oh my God, is she going to lead? Is she going to follow? Am I leading properly? Yeah. Everything's been through your mind at that point. And now as a teacher, I know that it's very important that I help my students just take it easy.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. Yeah. So that's what I needed to hear at that time as well. Yeah. So what else? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So watching them grow, basically.
Watching them grow, and that has a few layers to it as well. So sometimes it's watching them grow in general, and then it's the moment I can dance with them creatively, like my students, especially the followers. It's a joy. Like, oh, I've had to restrict myself because of you're growing and you're evolving. Now I can really push the levels. I can go for it. I can be totally. It's a great thing to watch your students get to that stage where you can actually dance with them the way they've watched you dance with other people. Yeah, and then there's other things as well. That's more ego, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so there's a satisfaction of watching other people have fun with my students.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, you'd be in a club, you'd be like, oh, that's my.
Yes. I like, what am I? No,
that's it.
Yeah, and if it's one of my teacher friends, I'm like, yo, you had fun, yeah? You had a great time dancing with Bristol. You should come more often. Yeah. So there's that too.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. So it's all rewarding and watching people grow. It's a great thing.
You make good connections as well. Over the years, I've really developed some friendships. They come from random places.
Yeah.
You can't predict who you're going to get and who's going to resonate with you.
Yeah.
So when it does click, you're like, wow, this has been awesome. Because that's a new relationship that I didn't have before.
Exactly. And this is what Kizomba does to you, right? It can bring you, we made some great friends.
Yeah.
Do this amazing dance. So, absolutely. All right, cool. Thank you very much. Now, are there any moments in your dancing career where things haven't gone so smooth? So are you able to share with us some, bloopers, or maybe, I don't know, did you fall down when you were teaching or something? Did you miss a step or something? Anything that comes to mind that you can share with us?
Oh, where do I start? The bulk of them are when I first started teaching. Probably the first 2 years I started teaching, with forgetting how to count.
Forgetting how to count? Wow.
Mid-class.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Consistently as well.
Seriously,
Yeah. It's like lessons planned, everything, you get there. 2, 7. What number are we at?
Okay.
And then like people with me then have to
help you out.
Yeah. Forgetting the routine.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Loads of those. Yeah. Especially when I'm teaching like 2 classes and we get to the stage of the syllabus where the routines are long for both classes. Start one, mix it up with the other. Yeah, painful of that. And then a bunch of first times. First time performing, first time teaching at a festival, first time doing everything.
Is that just nerves that's making you?
I'd say nerves and inexperience as well. It's hard to be confident about something you've never done.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can't be. But even if you're confident on the first time, it won't be the same as after you've done it a while.
Yeah.
There's a relaxedness to the way I teach now that I didn't have at the beginning. Yeah. I think probably the biggest blunder as a teacher, and I think a lot of teachers do this as well, is trying to teach too much too early. Because you think, the students are bored. They're not going to be entertained. They're going to go to XYZ teacher because that teacher does all the fancy stuff. That really is a big challenge. At that stage, there's money involved. You need to pay venue. Would you compromise? So that's a whole, it's a big challenge.
No, but thanks for sharing. I mean, these are the kind of big, we're all human, right? And we never get to where we want to get to without practice. Sounds boring, but it's always practice, right? Gets us there, and making bloopers and all this kind of stuff and makes us better dancers. So not everyone's going to hear this. So thank you for sharing that.
There's a lot more, but I won't go into it anymore.
What I do want to ask though is, when you lost your routine, how did you recover that? Did your students help you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They'll correct me. Because there's a point you get to where you're like, guys, I'm human too. I make mistakes. I forget.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Yeah. What you need to take from this?
Yes. Don't do as I do. Do as I say.
Okay.
Yeah. They definitely help, and I think I've got a lot more students that have been with me long enough now that they know that I need them as much as they need me in those classes. That's what my honest.
Okay, cool. So we're talking about teaching there, talking about making some bloopers, and then obviously to get good, you have to practice, like we just said. But who are some of the teachers that you kind of look up to, or you're inspired by, or have helped you in your development? You know, who would you say that they are?
It's just a long list.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a long list. It's because different teachers impacted and added value in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll start with the followers. So I had a period, especially in that 9 months, where I was just dancing for fun, where I wasn't even as part of my development. I didn't care about anything complicated. I was just an easy guy, do my basics, music's there, have fun. That was it. But in that period, I met people like Lana Zamora, Paula Lana, Maria Hover in Germany. She used to dance with Arnold. Who else comes to mind? Paula from Afro-Latin Connection. And the impact they had is when you're a leader in that first 9 months, you're in your head a lot. You're insecure about everything. And they made me feel comfortable. They made me feel like my lack of advanced intermediate in previous steps didn't impact our ability to have fun and connect on the dance floor. I think it's probably the most precious thing to give to leaders when they're learning. Like, it makes a difference in their trajectory.
Yeah.
You know, because now I hear those stories of guys who are like, oh, when I was a beginner, nobody wanted to dance with me, blah, blah, blah. Now that I'm good, they act in a certain way. But because I didn't have that, I felt like I was dancing with the international teachers.
Yeah.
And they were having fun, and I was only doing my basics. I'm confident to dance with anyone at this point in my dancing. And even when I'm teaching, I give that. Yeah, it's fun. Just because it's basic doesn't mean it's not fun.
Yeah. That's a great line. Just because it's basic doesn't mean it's not fun, right? And I guess it's how you execute that basic, again, in tune with the music, all of this stuff, right? So
it makes it a unique experience. Yeah. Even if it's another leader dancing to the same song, it's a different dance.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to transmit that at the beginning, but I can do that better now because I had, you know, teachers who really helped me feel comfortable regardless of what stage I was dancing in. So it's a weird, important thing that the followers give us if done properly. And then you get onto the technical side. So teachers, from technicality, you definitely have to put Eddie up there. You have to put Afro-Latin Connection for sure. Kizomba Love is good as well. Who else? I've had some friends now, like Vasco, for example. Every now and again, we'll meet up and we just exchange, you know, techniques.
So Vasco is teacher?
Vasco is a teacher, DJ from France. In the UK, I would have to say Nino. Nino's like my training buddy. So we started roughly the same time started teaching together, learning from Eddie as well. And he's really had my back throughout the whole process. Like, he used to come from Birmingham to Bristol to teach in my class. So he taught the intermediate while I taught the beginners and improvers for like 2 years straight. Like, do this. And we've evolved as teachers together. So there's a value add in just having a comrade, you know? Yeah. Who else comes to mind? Oh, I can't list everyone. In Angola, I gotta say, Epifanio, Silvio, Adilson to some extent. Those two, Silvio and Epifanio, really helped me define what direction I wanted with my dance. You know, because like I said, I went into that phase of just learning as a teacher, learning the dance culture, learning how to teach. And I think in the last 2 years or 3 years, I've now started to go back to where I stopped, which is, I actually want to enjoy this dance. It's not taking off the teacher hat and just leaving the dancer on, you know, type of thing. So it's all coming together from the experience across all the teachers.
Okay, great. No, that's good. And it's good that you were able, blessed and able to get that full round of people to learn from. So that's fantastic.
It's been valuable. I appreciate it all the way. Because they gave me their time. 100%.
No, good. So then moving on from that, then, you know, you've got all these different great teachers. So then what's the essence of your teaching style? Might be a tough question, but you know, how...
Tough question.
Okay, let me put it another way. So I'm coming to your class for the first, let's say the first time. What can I expect? Basically.
Yeah. if you're coming for the first time, let's take you on that journey. When you first come, I'm going to acknowledge that you're here. You're going to have fun, but it's not my intention to teach you anything. It's just you've come to see what it's like, you know, and then give you a space to make a decision about, actually, do I want to give it a bit more effort or dedication? It doesn't need to be full. It's just enough to be a bit more regular. Because when people come and you leave after a month and then you come again in 2 months and 3 months, I kind of see you, but at the same time, I know your progression is going to be slow.
Yeah.
Wish I could say a different way, but that's the reality. It is what it is. The people who are going to improve are those who are consistent. So if we say you're going to be consistent, what you're going to get is structure. And because there's structure, there's a lot of freedom. You know, because of the structure, there's a lot of freedom. But we're not going to escape the structure. My methodology has a structure and I don't change it. Now, everything around it, that constantly changes.
Okay.
Yeah, because as a human being and as a dancer, my students are going through different phases. You know, there's some times where things are going on at home.
Yeah.
I can't really be practicing at home or dance as much, but I still want to come weekly so that I get out of that space, because that's another side of teaching that we should probably talk about in terms of why people come to dance, you know. So that's something I'm always conscious of, like trying to get to know my students and see, okay, where are you right now in life and in dance? And based on that, we can either increase the intensity or turn it down a bit. But we're here all the way through. And then the other important thing is, this is a lifelong journey. Like, I really try to make sure you get that. You don't come into this dance and you leave after 2 years. You might say you will. You might intend to, but you're not going to.
Yeah.
If you really get it, from the minute you have that one dance, the dance, we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah. Good few months to start off with.
Yeah. Once you have the dance, I know we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
So it's important that we have fun along the way, rather than, yes, I said there's a structure, but let's not be so rigid on it.
Yeah.
It's there to give us a track, a guideline.
Yeah.
We follow it, but it's loose, relaxed throughout the whole process, because we're going to be here for a while. You know, if I explain it in a different way, let's say it takes 1,000 Saidas to master how to do a Saida. Let's say it takes 1,000 Saidas. We can rush to do them all in 2 years. And now you've mastered your Saida. You still got 20 years of life. You're going to be doing it. Or we can relax. And maybe it takes you 4 or 5 years to master your Saida. Because you only do 500 a year.
Yeah.
You know, 200 a year. We're still going to get to the destination, but one way is more fun, and the other is more intense. I would rather we had fun. Because life's already difficult.
Yeah.
You know, once they step out of my class, I don't know what type of life is waiting for you. Some people have a great work-life balance and home life is good. Marriage, relationships, family is great. Others don't.
Yeah.
You know, so, and again, going back to that journey as a teacher, at first I'm focused on teaching the class, the lessons, making sure I'm teaching. But after a while, you realize, my students are human. They're going through a human experience. What they need from me right now isn't the steps. It's just a space to chill and have fun.
That's really interesting to hear. I don't think I've heard that before. But being in tune to that is very interesting. And very, very, very good, I would say.
Yeah. It's a transition from being a school teacher or dance school teacher to a community leader.
Yeah.
Is when you start to see the people. You see them as people. It's like, they're not just students, they're not just paying your bills. They're human beings going through a real human experience, which sometimes is nice, sometimes it's not. Just like my life. It's not always, it's not a straight trajectory, right? It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. You know? So being in tune with that, being able to say to someone, yeah, I got your back. Sometimes it's been doing CVs for people and interview prep, because that's what they needed outside of the dance to get out of that situation. You know, it's, actually, don't worry, I'm good at this. I used to be a recruiter, so it's fine. So I'll prep you for the interview, I'll do the CV, whatever, and we'll get you the job. But that changes how you are in class, because that thing that's been bugging you, that's stopping you from being present, has been dealt with. So now you're happy in class. And some instances, like for example, I'm teaching, come into class one day, and I meet two of my students, followers. One's sad, one's happy. The one that's sad is usually happy.
Okay.
Sad today. The one that's happy is usually sad. Happy today. I asked them both, what's wrong? I just broke up with my boyfriend. Same response for both followers. I just broke up with my boyfriend. One person's reaction is, yes, finally. Another's reaction is, oh, yeah. That's going to impact how they are in class. 100%. Yeah, obviously I'm not God. I can't solve everyone's problems, but if I can assist, I'll try. Yeah.
No, it's just interesting that you're in tune, or you try to be in tune with the people that come to your session. So that's great. Great. Okay, so we're talking about, obviously those people in our classes. Now, when it comes to dancing yourself, is there any particular, you mentioned Saidas, oh my God, but are there any particular moves that you'd like to execute?
Ooh.
In terms of favorite moves. So, if somebody sees you doing that, oh, okay, he's having fun.
That's an Emmanuel answer.
Yeah.
I get you. It's a good question. I like it. It's not so much the moves. It's more, you can tell when I get to a stage of expression, which is where we're trying to get to. I call it dancing nirvana. Right. And for me, dancing nirvana is when we get to a stage where there isn't much interruption between the idea and the execution. So maybe I know the song, I know a break is coming, and I've decided, this is all split-second decisions. I've decided or have an idea of what I want to do. There's no interruption, whether it's the follower or the DJ doing something funny or the floor messing about. There's nothing that interrupts us getting to that place. That's beauty for me. And you can tell I'm there when I'm sort of in sync with the music. The ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. Obviously, you got to know the song well enough to some degree. That's usually for me where I'm in the zone. And there aren't any specific steps, really.
Okay.
It depends on the song.
Depends on the song.
Yeah.
All right.
Depends on the song. But
no dips or side move.
I think I go through phases. So if I'm learning something, I'm going to do more of it while I'm learning it. Doesn't mean it's now my new favorite. It's the flavor of the month.
Okay.
It's the flavor of the month.
Yeah.
I think there's a trick that we learned last year, my brother and I, that I've overused this throughout the whole year. Just because we learned it, we did some practice, and since then I've used it in every demo. Just because I'm practicing.
Okay.
Yeah. This year will be something else.
All right. So it just depends on it depends on the song, the person you dance with, the moment, and but you got enough tricks up your sleeve to do lots of different ones anyway. So
yeah.
Sure.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No worries.
I'm tempted to ask you.
Well, I was gonna get you to demonstrate on me, but you haven't got one, so we can't do that. Yes. So it's all good. Never mind.
We'll do it next time.
Next time. All right. Well, in terms of that, then let's think about that. So that question I asked you, then let's take it a bit deeper. So this question is around leading or following. Okay. So what makes, in your opinion, a really good lead and follower? But I'm going to start with the lead. Okay. And so in your opinion, what do you need to have to be a very good lead in Kizomba? Awesome.
I like that. I think there's different layers to it that make up a good lead. I think probably I want to start with who you are. I think leaders, men in general, underestimate how intuitive followers are. And my opinion, I think there's an element of how you lead that's a reflection of your personality. If you're obnoxious, we can tell you the way you dance. If you're arrogant, we can tell the way you dance. If you're too timid, we can kind of tell in the way you dance, the way you lead, not assertive enough. If you're faking it, we can tell. You're faking it till you make it. Yeah, they can tell. Okay. Yeah, so there's an element of actual genuine confidence in yourself that you need to be a good leader. And that doesn't necessarily mean being overt in your leading. It's just being sure that even if there is a mistake, I got it covered. And I think that reflects immediately in the way you hold straight away.
Okay.
There's a confident, relaxed, that no matter what happens, I got this. Okay. what could possibly happen?
Yeah.
The floor's going to crack. There's going to be an earthquake.
Yeah.
Other than that, we got this. And the follower can tell that. And I start with that because I think for a leader to have a good dance, the follower needs to trust him. Unless it's a solo dance. For this partner dance, the follower needs to trust you. And it's your job to make sure she trusts you. You know, so you start with confidence from the inside. That confidence, for me, has a layer of empathy. You know, a layer of empathy, very important layer of empathy that shows in the way you dance, where you give space to the follower. You know, an egotistical leader, the whole dance is about you.
Yeah.
The entire dance is about you. She feels like she's been dragged to do what you want. Empathetic leader, we are dancing.
So that you think the follower could feel that if it's an egotistical person, you think they can feel that when they dance with them?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's interesting. Yeah.
I think so. I think a follower can feel whether or not the leader is considerate of them.
Okay.
You know, are you actually thinking about me? It's like, just generally, if I'm walking with my sister, my mom, if I'm walking, I'm checking. Oh, she okay? Is everything all right? Oh, I'm going to cross the road now. She all right? They're adults, but it's my nature as a leader. You know, someone's with me, they're under my protection. Natural. Maybe it's African, maybe it's old-fashioned, but that's how leaders are raised. So in the dance, for you to dance the whole dance, you don't care about.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an enjoyable dance for the follower. And then you get to technique. You know, that translates into technique. Technique of being able to lead and give signals at the right time, early enough. Those little things, balance, weight transfer, posture, all those techniques. It's fueled by all of that. You know, if you have a very egotistical approach, the way you hold the lady is going to be more about you. You know, so I say from the leader side, those are the things that I look for. Yeah, like I said, technique is there. If you're doing your vigor and you're lifting up your heel, I'm looking at you like, bro, fundamentals class, please. You know, so I'm not going to get into all of that, but I think that's the core of what makes a good leader. Yes, you have to be humble. Humble enough for us to tell you, bro, yeah, your fundamentals are getting a bit shaky. We need to improve on them. Maybe you shouldn't be doing these high-level techniques yet, and you're humble enough to receive them, you know. And even as a teacher, I've had moments like that where I'm dancing with my student that I dance with every week, and I got carried away. And she said, oh, actually, I just had an operation on my ankle, so I can't do these. Yeah, it's arrogant of me. Why didn't I check first? Why did I assume? You know, so it influences the way I approach it now. So now when I want to dance with someone, even if I've danced with you last week, I still gonna start from the beginning. Make sure you're okay, build it up, so that we have a conversation. We get a chance for you to tell me, you know, if there's anything I shouldn't do. Create the environment for you to get that feedback. It has to be important to you. Okay. You could do that.
Say again?
Are you good at that?
Yeah,
for the leaders.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Trigger anything? Any thoughts?
No, I think, you know, it's important to understand, and you talk about posture as well, but I was just very interested with, you know, because like you say, everyone's different when it comes to personalities, and that reflects a lot in dancing. You know, whether you're timid or whether you're a bit more confident, whatever it is. So it's just interesting to hear that, you know, a person can actually feel that when, you know, it's all about me. Look, everyone's different in terms of how they dance, but it's just, I
think a lot of men and leaders underestimate how intuitive women are.
Yeah.
Like, it's a natural, their algorithm is just built different. They can sense it. Yeah. So they really get a sense of your personality, for sure. On the follower side, it's a hard one, because I think the scene is nice. It does well for followers, and in some ways, it doesn't encourage the parts that I wish it did. You know, so the nature of the scene is such that we kind of lead the followers down the track of, to be a good follower is to, I hate the word just follow, you know, whereas the technique that we really need is to be able to respond to signal. The most important for the follower. I could deal with. I have there's a layer or spectrum of the follower that I think is undernourished, which is the expression of the follower, the confidence of the follower. I don't think we give enough space for that. But we can't really get to that until we master the technique as a follower. You know, it's very important that followers start with that basic communication that we have as, you know, two people dancing with their bodies. That first part needs to, in my opinion, needs to be definitely ironed out. Technique-wise, again, how you walk for followers, very, very important. I see a lot of followers that don't straighten their knees when they walk, which is a weird thing because we don't walk like that in real life. Nobody walks with their knees bent the whole time. You bend straight and bend straight. As soon as the music comes, followers just do something weird. Yeah. So I still don't understand why it happens yet. I have a theory about heels at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, still a theory. I don't have it. But I think followers, from my observation, dance differently in heels than in flats. And the dance is an African dance. We don't have heels there. It's a European concept. So fundamentally, the biggest issue I find with followers is we didn't start with, you know, good fundamentals, good basics. And it's walking with your heel down, flat on the floor. That's how the dance is an African dance. We don't tiptoe the whole time. You know, even going down to African mythology, it's from the earth. You know, European is from the sky. We are from the earth. So we're grounded. So when I see in Europe, the followers I have the most issues with is those who can't walk properly. In fact, if they just did that, we don't even need anything else, to be honest. But taking it further is to have that expression. And I have to say further because it requires a man that gives space. Yeah. Which is why I said that first for the leaders. For the follower to express herself, I have to give space for her. Now, if I'm here the whole time, me, the follower has no space to express herself. You know, and that really translates into going back to that first 9 months when I was enjoying myself. There are moments where I'm new to the dance. Maria knows the song. She knows the break is coming. I don't. She would just grab me and do something, you know, but there's enough freedom in the dance for her to do that. You know, Tanya would be translating the songs to me because I don't speak the language, but there's enough freedom for her to just randomly start doing that. You know, so as a leader, you have to give the space. Now the followers, when they give you the space, you got to do something. You will see this the most in this instant. The man is dancing in close hold, then he releases the follower. Watch their faces. They panic, man.
The follower panics.
Yeah. Because now the man's not leading. Yeah. It's just about you to do something. I can see on their face straight away. They're like, bro, come back. Come back quickly. Let's get back to this hole. Which is why I say we haven't done enough to give the followers that sense of self-expression. Okay. Because we're still stuck in that follow things. But really, the dance is here where two individuals can dance. Sometimes we dance together, sometimes we dance apart, come back. There's a story being told.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So we could get into this deeply.
Yeah. We could go.
But
There's more to it.
Yeah, let me just... Okay, so all right, who do you think has... I don't know if this is the right question, but who do you think has more responsibility then? The leader or the follower? Or is it equal?
It's the leader, man.
Leader.
Okay. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we call it's in the name. Yeah. You take responsibility, you take the blame. Doesn't mean the follower doesn't have things to improve on, but the dance is in your control. You know, whether it means toning it down to adapt to the level, it's you. Yeah, if I try do a couple of vigilers and I realize I can't do it, we'll do passada. Okay. I'll tone it down. Do passada, do estrellas. You know, if I realize, we can't even do that side to side and travel, mate. Yeah, keep bringing it down until she's comfortable and she can have fun at that stage because she's not thinking about the technique. Yeah, you know, it's the leader's job, and sometimes it's my job to push you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So would you say then that with leading, then, if you're dancing with someone who's like a beginner, let's say you're an individual who's danced for some time, and you know, club is finished, you know, there's been a beginner's class, they want to dance and all that, and you're leading them, should it be easy for you to move them the way you want them to move? In other words, can a leader make anybody look like a dancer, if that makes sense?
I think so. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot. Okay. It doesn't take a lot. Really, all you have to do is have fun. Yeah. Because, the fancy stuff is great. I'm not going to take that away. The fancy stuff is great. Doing all the tricks is good. Even as an audience, looking at it is great. Or watching two people genuinely have fun trumps that. It trumps that all the way. Like, they're having fun. They're sweating. They look raggedy. And they don't care. That's the freedom we're all looking for.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's the freedom we're all looking for, really. It's to get to that stage where I don't give a damn about what anyone thinks. I'm having fun. I'm not a dad today. I'm not an employee today. I ain't want to see the kids. I'm tired of talking to my grandma because she's bugging me. Whatever it is, I'm here. I mean, it's the times when it gets dire. I have a student who every year, they're like, thank you for having a class on this week because this is the week that my dad died, and every year anniversary, I don't want to be at home. When that person comes there, what's the point of coming and then you are restricting yourself? You want to let go, be someone else, reinvent yourself. Yeah, that's what we're chasing. We're all looking to see true freedom on the dance floor. So if I could get a total beginner to be having fun, making silly faces, just relaxed, I've won.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess I was just coming from technicality. But no, you're right. That's what it's really all about, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that more than the technicality, if you could get the follower to get out of their head, and I can stay on the followers for a little bit, because it's easy for us, relatively, or it's different for us what keeps us in our head. What keeps us in our head during the dance is mostly dance related. For the follower, what keeps her in her head is not always dance related. It's audio, because everything's connected in the female brain. So it's all of them, from dishes.
Don't attempt to talk about the female brain.
Yeah, as two gentlemen, let's just sidestep that.
We could
just sidestep that. But it's the dishes, it's the friggin' bathroom, it's work, it's everything all at once. And we don't realize that the addictive substance that we're selling is, she's here. Nowhere else. For a woman to get that, or a follower to get that, that is dancing nirvana for them. And the more you can give that, the more you
It's our responsibility.
Yeah.
Hard work, man.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
All right, no, cool. Thank you. All right, so that's cleared up some stuff for me as well. Anyways,
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you about. Okay, I think we talked about this already, and you mentioned it already, but I just want to come back to it very quickly. So it's about basic steps.
Sure.
Okay. So a lot of times, I've asked this before to some guests on the show about basic steps, and I just want to get your thoughts on the importance you have on basics and fundamentals, because oftentimes we see people, especially men, we want to run before we can walk sometimes. So what are your thoughts on mastering the basic steps?
I think for a long time I had a reputation as, I don't know, the basics guy or the fundamentals guy, because that's why I went on about the most. At least with me and MeuSemba, the aim always is, I give you the fundamentals, the foundations, so that you can go anywhere else after that. You can go to another teacher, you can even go to another country, you can go to Angola, and you never be really out of your depth. That's where I try to get to with the fundamentals and the basics, is they're that important. They're your foundations, literally your foundations that you build on. And if they're shaky, if they're not set correctly, what you're building has a high, probability to crumble. And even taking it further, even if you started with good basics, and I've been through this where I started with good basics and I really honed in on them. I was teaching basics a lot, so it's really sharp. And then went to Angola, get inspired, you start experimenting more, and then you start to lose the basics because your focus has changed into these more complicated, expressive stuff. You start to lose the basics. And I realized you kind of have to do both hand in hand. So if you're just starting, if you're lucky, you've got a good teacher that will really give you good fundamentals, good basics. But then as you start to evolve, you still can't lose it. You have to keep touching base with it. You know, so the way I run the school is even if you move on to the intermediate or improvers class, you still have to do the first class. It's just that's just life. So you don't lose it, and it's fun. And as a community as well, if you have new people coming to learn in your school or your community, if they see that the experienced dancers are in the fundamentals class, they never get it into their head that, oh, now I'm improvers and I've left this class now. I'm too good for this class. No, everyone's in this class. This is our way. It's not negotiable. This is just it. Everybody does the fundamentals class. Yeah. Period. Yeah. I don't have that question anymore. Okay. You know, yeah. So I appreciate not everyone does it that way, and I appreciate why as well. Fair play, but this is how I think it's sustainable.
Because it's so important, right?
100%. I don't even know if there's anything more important. It's a weird. This section is very odd. I feel like we're going round in a circle. So I've been to Angola, now Cape Verde as well. And what I see as the beauty of the dance is, what am I going to be doing? How am I going to be dancing when I'm 50, 60, 70? Because that's what I see. I see a lot more mature people dancing. They're not doing the fancy stuff, man. They're having fun. They're socializing. They're dancing. It's very easy. There's no complex. Okay. You come to Europe. Because of salsa, we have to add all these fluff. Okay, fine. We've added it. What's going to happen? At the end of the day, when I go to a festival or a party, towards the last hour, what are people doing? No one's doing all the fancy stuff. Everybody's just there, sway, chilling, pasada. Deep down inside, that's the dance.
Only a few steps is Kizomba, really, isn't it? Just a few basic steps.
Yeah, and then we just put all these extra stuff on it to make it fancy. Yeah. And then when you do get older, what are you going to be doing? Your bones can't handle all these tricks, man. Yeah. You're going to be back to the basics anyway. Yeah. So we're just going round in a circle. It's what I see. It's like, we're going to be back. Like when I'm tired at the night, nah, man. I'm not moving, barely moving. My steps are small. My repertoire is reduced. I'm just there, enjoying the dance with my partner. That's it. So, yeah, we'll see how it pans out.
But messages, basics, super important.
100%.
Keep doing it. Don't think you're too advanced for basics.
Basic. Never to
is the message.
Yeah, all the way through.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Let's make sure we get that message clear. Okay. So, your name. I know we're going back probably to the beginning, but your name, MeuSemba.
Yeah, MeuSemba.
MeuSemba. Okay. Why that name? How did it come about?
Talk to us. Yes. What was the name of the school when I took over? It was called Bristol Kizomba Romantica. That was the name that embodied David's floor. And he was a sexy guy, very stylish, DJ. So that was it. And then I took over. And like I said, my journey's taken me everywhere. I've learned from as many people as possible. And then it was time to have my own brand, my own signature. And I chose MeuSemba because of my is what Meu means. And in Portuguese, yeah, MeuSemba means my Semba. And it was the best way I could encapsulate my journey. I'm Nigerian. I really like being Nigerian. I don't want to be Angolan or anyone else. I like my culture. I'm also British, right? Immigration is a thing. I'm a hybrid of many things. You know, I'm not just one thing. And my Semba is an expression of that. Okay. You know, it's an expression of all the things that come together to make up who I am. Yeah. You know, some of it is the musical experience I had before. Some of it is leadership in general. So being able to speak in front of people, all that stuff. I didn't get that skill in dancing. I got that before, you know, and even parallel to that, because we all have careers and things that we're doing and family. So leading is a layer of my life as well. Being analytical is a professional skill that I bring into the dance. So there's a number of things that come together to make up my Semba, you know, and I believe it's the same for everyone else. Yeah, there's no requirement for you to imitate to the point where you lose yourself. You know, there's an element of imitation and growing, 100%. You know, you gotta imitate first before you can evolve things. Fair play, but it shouldn't come at the cost of your heritage, your history. You know, you shouldn't like this dance so much that you're no longer, you know, Ghanaian or Nigerian or Swedish or whatever it is that you are. Now you are the embodiment, the second coming of Angola. Bruh, take it easy. It's not necessary. It's really not. So I think it's an important message that I'm trying to get out, that, guys, I'm just being myself.
Okay. Well, so MeuSemba is yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyone that identifies or resonates with that, be yourself. Yeah. It's like, on the dance floor, be yourself. 100%. Whoever you are. You know, you're Scottish and you want to do your dance, go for it. Like, there's no rules. It's art. We can't have rules for art. The whole point is it's meant to be totally expressive, you know? So without the restriction. So that's why, you know, it's a combination of everything.
So it's a very strong reflection of you, just reinforcing you to make sure that you're being yourself.
Yeah. And that's what's gotten me through so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Great to hear. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, it is.
I'm going to ask you, go back to a question that I said I was going to go back to. So
you actually remembered?
Yeah, man. Memories there.
Good. Fair play. I was hoping.
Yeah. Right. Kizomba, Semba, Tarashina. Right? Percentage-wise.
You know, I get this.
You get it all the time.
I get it all the time.
You know what it's so 100%. How do you break it down in terms of which one you like best? Or are they all equal across the board? Or is it 50% Kizomba, 25 Semba, 25?
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah, but we just want to.
It's hard.
What would you say?
I think. Ooh, okay. No, I'm going to answer it now. Okay. So, personally, in terms of desire, I think it will be 40% Semba, 40% Kizomba, and 20% Semba. 20% Tarashina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 40 Semba, 40 Kizomba, and Tarashina gets the 20% in terms of desire. Yeah, I like Delta Zouk, I like Tarashina. It's not the amount of times I'm in that zone isn't that many. I can switch between Kizomba and Semba generally relatively easily in terms of, you know, because there's a spectrum of, I don't know how to call it, music where Semba and Kizomba kind of similar in energy. Yeah, I can live in that zone for a bit. But in terms of reality, though, I actually get more requests for Kizomba dancers than the other two. In order, it would be Kizomba, then Semba, then Tarashina. Not many people even believe I can dance Tarashina, which is good, no problem. Not trying to change that. That's fine. But most people see me as a Semba dancer, and there aren't that many people that dance Semba that much. So I don't get much requests for that. For Kizomba and Ghetto Zouk, yeah, in reality, that's why I dance the most. That's people that ask me to dance the most. That's what's played the most as well in parties and clubs. So yeah, but in terms of desire, music of Kizomba and Semba is similar enough for me to resonate with it. I could be in the zone. Tarashina needs a certain mood.
All right, no, that's fine. There's no right or wrong answer. I just wanted to find out what your thoughts. So 40, 40, and 20.
Yeah.
Tarashina, and that's cool. So another question comes to mind. Why do you think that Semba is not as popular as Kizomba over here?
Music. Yeah, music. Because, yeah, this is the West, man. This is Europe. It's going to be European music first, or European-esque, European sound in music that people resonate with first. Yeah. Doesn't mean the most. Doesn't mean it will stay the same throughout their journey in dance. I think the first initial is going to be, you know, that Ghetto Zouk, R&B-ish, westernized music first. And then because a lot of Kizomba now has that Ghetto Zouk influence, it can still be Ghetto Zouk, Kizomba. But when you start going to Semba has remained pretty much locked, and we like it that way. It's been locked for a long time, even its evolution is within itself.
Yeah.
So unless you have that appreciation for polyrhythmic music, I don't know if it will resonate with people en masse as much as Kizomba and Ghetto Zunke and
It's understandable, but it's such a fun dance, such fun music.
It is. It's liberating,
right?
Yeah.
Watching those, it's good to see.
Yeah. I'm scrolling on Facebook every now and again, just rewinding the video.
Yeah, I know some of this thing that they can do as well.
Yeah,
dangerous. But anyway, all right. Let's talk a bit about the dance community then in terms of Kizomba. So obviously, it's vibrant, it's international, it's big, it's grown.
Yeah.
In the years I've been doing it, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So, in terms of festivals, obviously you perform at different festivals, teach at different festivals. So what are some of the festivals that you enjoy performing at, or,
Yeah,
like to...
That's a good question. It's interesting and sad as well, because a lot of the ones that were amazing pre-pandemic are not there anymore, which is a sad thing to see in the scene. And at the same time, a lot of new ones have come as well. So we're in, it's a weird crossroad that we're in the scene. Of the ones that are still around that people can still go to, I'd say I've heard a lot about Prague coming up in February, so Kwanzaa. What else? The Paris ones. I think I give this advice for a follower. Paris is a good place to go and dance.
Are you talking about Back to Basics?
Back to Basics. Mangole was the new one. Mukua. Those three topping the list at the moment. For dancing in France, I think if your follower is really good, someone wants to go. If your follower is great, you can talk a bit about that. You have France as a colonial power. You have a lot of the Africans in France, right? Who, especially like Congolese, who can dance naturally. It's in their heritage. So when they come in contact with Kizomba, their skill level is just high. So I recommend it to followers in general. You're going to have the highest concentration of high-level leads as in France.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah, it's in France. And if you're a leader, maybe don't go there. Yeah, especially if you're still learning. You might get into mistakes. Yeah.
I know
Eastern
where
Europe.
I'm gonna be when I go there.
Yeah, go to Eastern Europe.
Be the backwards.
Yeah, avoid Poland and France. If you're an up-and-coming leader, you're not that confident, just avoid those two places. They have the highest concentration of high-level leads, from what I've seen, for festivals. And then if you're a leader, if you avoid those two, go a bit more to Eastern Europe, you're going to have a great time. I usually have a great time in Toma Toma. At the moment now, Kizomba Treat in Belgium, in Ghent, is awesome. Like Romania, this is their second edition. They've done 2 editions and it's been top. Okay. Yeah, Like Romania has been very, 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 very good. Off the top of my head, what else is up? Bristol, So Week is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say confidently it's the best festival in the UK.
No bias.
But nothing to do. No, it's just objective opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. No, definitely. Bristol So Week is awesome. What else is tickling my fancy at the moment? I mentioned Toma Toma in Bratislava. Vilnius Kizomba Festival in Lithuania. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I'm going to I'm teaching at their summer festival this year for the first time. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it's good and I can report back. I think
there's quite a few there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the top of my list at the moment that I've been going to. And it's a mixture of having that relaxed vibe and an authentic music experience. Mm-hmm. Obviously music's, highly important to me. So composition of DJs is something I'm looking for, to know that I've got a group of musicians or music dealers that are going to give me a good session, Yeah.
Okay. No, that's good. So definitely some on the list.
There's enough there for someone to find.
100%.
Yeah. 1 or 2. You doing much festivals like these days?
Not these days. I mean, not as much as used to, and obviously like to do more, but it's just life, isn't it?
Yeah,
things get in the way. But
you're doing much this year though.
Doing February this year, so back to basics.
You go back to basics.
So yes. I'll be in the corner watching all that dance because I'm not going to be at that level. But hey, we learn, right?
Record all of it. Practice.
Do you know what I mean? But it's all good. No, but all the ones you mentioned, check them out and see how we got.
Yeah.
So cool. So then, obviously, you're dancing. You've mentioned lots of different places there, and I'm sure that you perform at these places as well. So, who's your dance partner, and how do you select a dance partner?
Oh, there's a political answer, and then there's the truth. My dance partner is Jana Kurjun. She is also my brother's wife. They were both my students at the same time. And at the same time that they were learning, I was getting a lot of requests to come and teach at festivals. And I refused a lot of them because I didn't have a dance partner. And the reason I didn't have a dance partner is not because I couldn't. It's just because I was lazy. I didn't want to travel.
Okay.
So I got offers from people outside the country. How are you going to practice? I'm going to have to fly over? Hell no. I don't think so. I live in Bristol. You live in London. Oh, look, I can't do that stress. At that time, you live in where? Logistics is going to be complicated. I was like, no. And that for like 2 years, I just didn't have a dance partner. Jenna lives in Bristol. Problem solved.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was why I selected that at that time. And in terms of her specifically, is humility. Humility, and I was lucky enough that she had some background in dancing already.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of conditioning the body, I didn't have to do that. Because when you want to start dancing, especially teaching, there's a conditioning you have to do for your body because the body processes information differently from the brain. So there's a conditioning you need to do to allow your body to absorb movements quickly. She already had that. I was already in the training anyway. So it was easy for us to, work together and transition from student teacher to colleagues, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But in the official answer for choosing a dance partner is technique, presence, confidence. What else?
Yeah. We don't need to go there. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's Jana, you said.
Yeah.
She's the one. All right. That's fine. And you guys dance all over. Right?
Yeah, we've done the circle. Yeah. Definitely. It's been a wild ride. Both as individuals and as a dance couple as well. It's been an interesting journey. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, this is great. And with Kizomba then, how would you say it's impacted your life personally?
Ooh, good question. It's exposed me more than I ever expected to more people. Yeah. If you're the type of person that, because believe it or not, I'm an introvert. And introverts naturally gravitate to meaningful conversations. We can't help it. Which means that as an introvert, you're less likely to have a wide group of friends, like a lot of people. It's unlikely. Extroverts do that. Introverts, you have 1 or 2, 3 or 4 people max ish that you really quality connections. Kizomba's expanded that beyond what I could naturally do on my own. I wouldn't naturally connect with this many people, intimately. Yeah, Kizomba's facilitated that. So I find that I have a lot more connections than I would have naturally done. And it's definitely the dance. I think that's one way. I think there's something there around personal evolution as well. There are things you could get away with when your circle is small that you can't get away with when your circle is wider.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some offhand comments you can make that your close circle understands you don't mean. They know what you mean, what you're referring. But when the circle gets wider, you kind of have to refine yourself a bit more, so that you can be more appealing to, and not have to explain, what I really meant was, I know you took that the wrong way, but Yeah, just to clean out all of that stuff. And I went through a process of that. Oh, actually, not everybody understands me. So you evolve in how you express yourself. I think that's definitely stretched me. Definitely. It's stretched me a lot more.
And that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I welcome it. It took a while. Not going to act like I...
Well, you're an introvert, so it's going to take a
while. Yeah. You sound like you're talking from experience here.
Introverts, bald heads, hey, what can we say?
Hey, that's true.
It's all good, man. Africans.
Yeah. West Africa.
Yeah.
The best side.
Best side. Okay, no. And that's the thing about it is, I keep saying it, this dance brings you joy. It brings you people. And you just meet so many people.
Yeah.
That can impact yourself. So it's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. I can say now that I know people in more countries than I would have.
Yeah,
I know people in way more countries across the spectrum as well. I've met millionaires, I've met entrepreneurs, I've met employees. It's just the spectrum and range is so much, and your appreciation for the differences and of background, it just increases. Like the way I see life, society, people is expanded. It's a lot different. I'm definitely more curious as well, because you just don't know
exactly
what you're going to meet. You speak to someone that you're meeting for the first time, you have no idea of who you're speaking to. It could be anything. And even there are people that have evolved over the time I've known them. A decade is a long time. 4 years, 5 years in, they've changed. From those who've got married and left the scene, and then I meet them again and I see how the trajectory is taking you, and those who stayed, it's very full. It's very, very full.
You never know who's in that dance floor. All different walks of life.
100%.
Completely different people. What brings them together is the dance.
Yeah.
This is great, Emmanuel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we haven't finished just yet. Just a few more things we've got to get through. So I wanted to speak to you about, so obviously you teach in Bristol as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously you teach in London as well.
Now.
Chocolate Tuesdays. Yeah. And, you teach alongside Shaina there, who has also been on the show as well. And, I saw you at one of the events there.
The dance experience.
So are you going to be doing any more of those with her, or how is that going to be developed?
That's a good question. Yeah, so in general, I think, preamble is, obviously we had a lockdown, pandemic, no one was teaching. But when we came back, I didn't go straight back to teaching. I just carried on my hiatus and enjoyed myself, and that's been good because it's been like a chance to really just reflect. Okay, this is where we've come from. This is how far we've come. And what does the future look like? So I think off the back of that period, a few initiatives have started this year. So I'm coming back to teaching weekly in Bristol, doing more workshops in Bristol, more parties in Bristol. And then last year, Chocolate came about because I met both Shaina and Shay through Ada, actually. She told me to come to Chocolate. I came, had fun, and met Shay. He came to Bristol afterwards, met me, and he's like, I want you to come and start teaching in London. And that's where we started working together with Shaina off the back of that, the dance experience. And we've trialed it, and we're like, okay, actually, we can create something worthwhile for both scenes, both communities, both the London and the Bristol. We can try and create a connection there that is already forming, but not with the set of dancers that Chocolate is exposed to. So we normally get people coming from London to my classes and to my parties. That's been happening for years, so I'm all right with that. But it's a certain type of people. It's the people I meet at festivals. So I don't see them much in London. I see them when I travel, because I don't even go to London that often, right? So at least until now, I didn't go to London often. So I saw a lot of people that lived in London, but I saw them at festivals. So when they found out that I'm teaching in Bristol, they started coming. But there's a new generation of dancers post-pandemic that is in Chocolate now that doesn't have that much exposure to, the scene, the community, and some kind of methodology of teaching, which is what we're trying to give to them early. Give them all the tools they need before they start traveling and start going everywhere. They've had an experience of what we think good looks like.
Yep.
So that's leading into, for example, we're doing private classes monthly now, so that groups of people can come and we can have specific time with them That's first one is in January, and then every month. The dance experience will be, I think it's 2 a quarter or once a quarter. Can't remember. It's about 4 of them this year. I'm doing workshops in Bristol as well that will be teaching. So there's just creating opportunities to share what we have, the knowledge that we've gained over the years. Yeah, excellent. And then obviously building a partnership that allows us to facilitate that as well. So yeah, good stuff coming.
Yeah, no, and that's amazing. And obviously we need that, right? We need people to keep coming, learning, fundamentals.
Having fun along the way, but
Okay, and then what about your Kizomba bucket list? Is there anything that you haven't ticked off yet? Anything that you want to do in the future? Plans, all that kind of stuff?
It's a good question. There's a few things coming to mind. I feel like there's some challenges I've set for myself personally in terms of my dance that I haven't quite achieved yet. I think there are technical milestones that I'm like, oof, I need to get to that stage where I can do this and execute stuff without hiccups. And there's an idea, like a level of self-expression that I'm looking for. I can't say in detail what it is yet because, like I said, I've gone through this phase of focusing on being a good dance teacher. It's different from now dancing for myself. It's not so much about teaching or passing a message on to the students. It's just, this is my expression, my Semba. And I think I'm only just at that stage in the dance journey that I can really devote some time to that. And I think that's a bucket list. What else? Making me think now. I think there's a few people I'd like to do a video with.
You mean dance choreography video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like the guys I mentioned from Angola, I'd like to do a video with Epifania, for example. Yeah. There's a few people I'd like to definitely do a video with, just because we gel on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I think there's something beautiful about that being captured in video and being shared. I think where you can show what it looks like to be yourself in the dance, I think you should show it.
Okay, well, please do it. You want to see it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few to be released this year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Yeah. So keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously you're a teacher and it's great to have you on. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We've got some people watching now. They're probably, thinking, okay, I want to follow in your footsteps or other people's footsteps. They want to become teachers. So what kind of advice would you give to anybody pursuing becoming a teacher? What would you say to them?
Follow my path. My path was chaotic. Because I had to figure out everything myself. So definitely do teacher training, 100%. 100% do teacher training. And you get different things from different teacher trainers. Yeah. So, for example, if you want to run a school, go to Afro-Latin Connection. They have a beautiful understanding of the European market where in their methodology, the beginner is someone with 2 left feet. What the other teachers don't appreciate, and for caveat, the other teachers are African and Black. So because we're used to a culture of dancing, so the average beginner in their classes, the methodology that they have, this is the difference. The methodology that they have is catered to someone who already has groove, rhythm, not so much 2 left feet, maybe 1.5. So they can move. They understand some concepts that they don't have to explain. Whereas the Afro-Latin Connection methodology is designed for someone with 2 left feet, can't hear music, doesn't know anything. So it takes them from the beginning. And in reality, in Europe, your students are most likely going to have 2 left feet, no sense of musicality, can't hear left from right. And I think that's going to help you. 100%. And then you add the rest. So I'd say, for example, Petru and Vanessa, their methodology is good for you to learn the culture. You get the soul of the dance from them. 100%. Methodology might not be great for teaching, but you will really absorb the soul of the dance. The culture, you will get it. I put Eddie and the rest in between, You get a bit of methodology and structure, you get a bit of culture. You know, that's the middle ground. But if you had to pick one, I'd say, you know, definitely do it. If you're going to run a school, Afro-Latin Connection. If you just chilling, want to dance, go to Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll be decent, you'll be able to teach, but we would know that this isn't what you're dedicated to.
Yeah.
It'll be obvious. You know? Yeah. And then the last thing I'd say is, you will know you're a good teacher by the students you create. If you don't create students, you're not, you're fooling yourself. Yeah, you might as well have a mirror and dance to yourself, teach yourself. We are going to know by your students. If I mention your name and no one can say that's his student, that's her student, or those are her students, you're not a teacher. You're an entertainer, you're a lot of things, but you're not a teacher. You know, it's fine. We have room for everybody in the scene. Whatever you are, it's fine.
Very, very important point. So hopefully, you know, some of you guys out there wanting to become teachers have got some serious knowledge.
And take it easy, have fun.
Yep, that's the main thing.
Yeah, take it easy, have fun for it all.
So is there anything you want to tell us, plug, what you're doing?
Ooh, there's loads.
Events?
Loads. This year I've got 4 parties. One in February, one in April, one in June, one in September, and December. Is it 4 or 5 or 6? I take it back. 6. It's every 2 months. So February, April, June, August, October, and December. We're party in Bristol. The parties are growing because it's specifically curated so that you get pretty much the DJs that you get at international festivals coming to the UK, a little town called Bristol. You know, and those of us that I meet at those festivals that we have fun. It's kind of like our home in the Bristol. That's what I'm trying to achieve. That's very relaxed, very chilled. You can have a conversation with people, just like I am. You connect and you get to have fun and dance as well. So the parties are growing. They're called Noitada Maluka. So that's the party. Weekly classes. MeuSemba School's back on Thursdays in Bristol. Obviously Tuesdays at Chocolate, Kizomba in London. You'll see me there. Expanding again to the Kizomba dance experience. We've got 4 this year. First one is coming up in March. The private classes have started in London. I do private classes in Bristol anyway, so anyone in Bristol can always reach me because it's commutable. But if you're further away, London's a good place to catch me. It's usually a Saturday. We have like 4 hours booked, so people can come, choose a slot. And then internationally as well, got festivals for this year, 2024. I'm confirmed for Kizomba Treat in Ghent. I'm looking forward to that. It's slowly growing on me as one of my favorites. I can't say that yet because I know the organizer. I like him, but he's got a big head. So no, it's an all right festival.
Okay. For now.
For now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's great. Like, it's definitely becoming one of my favorites. It's like you feel at home. You can be relaxed. You can be chilled. The music's great. Dances are awesome. Bristol, obviously, because you got to come to So We Kids. I'm teaching there's another festival, Vilna Summer, I said. That's a new one. It'll be my first time teaching there. We usually teach at the Winter Festival in November. So this year we're going to be at the Summer Festival in June. I've just been recently booked for a festival in December that I can't talk about yet.
Okay.
It's not official. I don't even know the name.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's I'm curious as hell, man. What's it called? Which is not. Yeah, so hopefully I can update people on that when that time comes. I'm also bringing back the website. So the MeuSemba website used to review festivals, which was fun because I almost got sued for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So when you review festivals and you tell the truth,
it
gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
We've learned our lesson.
Okay.
So we're trying to bring that back because I think it's probably one of the best value add we had. I did do interviews with as many teachers because by the time I was starting the website, I'd been everywhere. I'd met most people, so I knew a lot of teachers and organizers and DJs that I could actually do a spotlight on each of them. So we put that on the website. That was fun, and we want to bring that back again because there's been an influx of new dancers, new teachers in the scene post-pandemic. That I'm like, actually, it's worth us. I'm in some kind of presence again, online. So Yeah, 2024 is going to be good.
Sounds packed. Sounds busy.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds like
I've still got life as well.
You know, on top of that, you got life as well. Yeah. But listen, Kizomba keeps you sane, right? So it's all good.
Sane enough.
That's okay. We're all different. But anyway, it's all good. But now listen, seriously, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure from learning from you. And it's been great. But just before you leave, I've got a few questions for you here. Quick fire questions.
Oh, what?
So keep flipping them
Just before you leave. Just before
you leave, right? 4 cards. Pick 3. Answer the question. Whatever's left, I'll answer. Okay?
I pick 3.
Well, yeah, but one by one. Yeah. So pick any one of those cards.
Start with this one.
Read it to us.
Oh, really?
And then answer the question.
If you could invite a famous person, dead or alive, to dance Kizomba with you, who would it be and why? Famous.
Mm.
Oh, it's got to be famous.
If you can't think of anybody famous, then that's fine.
Dead or alive. Wait, give me a sec.
Yeah, no worries.
That's so good. And it's got to be a follower, isn't it? Technically. Yeah, because they're dancing with me. I don't know why, but Angelique Kidjo came to mind.
Angelique Kidjo?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
She's a famous African singer. I've forgotten the song now, but that's the first person that popped to my head for some weird reason.
Okay. So you like to
dance with her?
Dance with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a phase in my life that I grew up listening to her music. And then you kind of grew out of it.
Okay.
And then now that you ask me,
that's cool.
I can't explain that.
So say the name one more time.
Angelique Kidjo. Yeah, she's a singer.
She's a singer. Okay. Yeah. Cool. No, excellent.
Okay.
So
caught me off guard.
That's cool. That's what it's all about.
The last one is one you're gonna answer.
Well, yeah, whatever's left.
You probably put this one there. So you can ask. Oh, it's another one. If you could dance Kizomba anywhere in the world, what would your dream dance location be and why? I want to go to Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. Okay, so why?
Because I've never been before. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. And it looks amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zanzibar? Because it looks amazing.
And trying to decide if I trust you. Ooh. If Kizomba were a flavor, what would it taste like? Damn, if Kizomba was a flavor. Oh.
Do you like African food?
I'm not going to say jollof rice. They're expecting it.
Yeah, I'm not right.
I'm not going to fall into this stereotype. Damn it. A flavor.
Sweet, sour, sweet, or, you know?
I want to say sweet with a hint of spicy.
Okay.
That hint of spicy is strong when it hits, though.
Okay, but what is it?
That's what I'm trying to. What fits that category?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, that's a good one. It's like, wait, I'm almost there.
Okay.
Almost got it.
No worries.
Nigerian plantain.
Nigerian plantain.
Yeah, fried.
Oh, look, man. Nigerian plantain versus Ghana. We're not doing this now, but okay. Nigerian
we don't
plantain.
do it ever.
We're taking that.
There's nothing to do. It's like, we all know.
Oh, is that what it is?
We already know.
Right.
We said we wouldn't do this. It's a truce that we called. Yeah.
Okay. Which do you find more challenging in Kizomba? Footwork, connection with the partner, or musicality?
Good question. Victor. Please answer us.
So you noticed earlier on I was drilling in about your instruments and the fact that you're talented in that, and we were talking about musicality. So for me, what I will struggle mostly with is musicality, because I think I told you before that, I came from salsa and other dances, and in Kizomba, it teaches you to just calm down and listen to the beat. Yeah. But, we were talking about, we're dancing with so many things in our minds, and we got to get off beat. So I struggle with that a lot, a hell of a lot. And I think a good way of just getting around that is listen to the songs just over and over again, so you know when the pauses are coming, that kind of stuff. But, if there's a song that comes on, you think, oh, this is great, but you have a partner in front of you, and you don't know it, I'm all over the place. Yeah. So musicality is something that I do struggle with. Out of those three anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a good problem.
It's a good problem?
Yeah, it's a good problem. Yes, usually you have this, you get to this crossroad after you've gone through a phase in your dance, a good long enough phase in your dance journey.
Yeah.
That, okay, you're not worried so much about the basics and the steps anymore. Now you're thinking, okay, I don't actually enjoy music. Yeah, it's a good problem.
Yeah, so
I like it.
What would have been yours? Just as out of interest.
It's your question.
Okay, fine. That's what I usually say, but you are right. Okay, but listen.
How is that your white question?
Emmanuel, listen, seriously, man, it's been great. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you well in the future, everything that you're doing, going on into the future. And hopefully we can maybe catch up with you at some point in the future for you to come back and do another episode, give us an update on what's happening.
I hope so.
How you're passing involved and everything.
And then general commentary on the scene as well. I've been here long enough to give some kind of insight, so I think that'll be good. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is kind of fun. A lot more relaxed than I thought it would be.
Is that cool? We make it relaxed. Good. The whole point is to spread the joy of Kizomba to as many people as we can reach. That's the purpose of this channel. All right. So everybody watching, thank you very much. I want to say thank you again to Emmanuel. Thank you all for staying with us another time for another episode. But we're going to be signing out now. So as we always say, keep dancing, and we will see you on the dance floor. Peace.